At 7:12 that morning, my wife texted me like I was some temporary man in her life. Plans changed. You're not coming on the cruise. My daughter wants her real dad. No call, no talk, just a message. Like 16 years of being a husband, a provider, and a stepdad could fit in one cold line. I stood in my kitchen in Houston with the coffee still dripping, and my hands started shaking. By noon, I had canceled every payment I could touch, put the house in motion to sell, and disappeared. And the wild part, they didn't even know what I had taken until they came back. Houston mornings got a certain sound to them, a slow hum, distant traffic rolling like waves down the freeway, somebody's lawn crew already buzzing, a neighbor's dog barking at nothing like it had a job. Our house sat in a quiet pocket not far from the city's noise. Nothing fancy, but clean. The kind of place where you could smell somebody's Sunday dinner before you even rang the bell. Inside, it always felt warm. Not just the AC fighting that Texas heat. Warm like pictures on the wall, family photos, graduation caps. A little "Bless this home" sign Rose swore she didn't care about, but she still hung it up. I'm Richard, 50 years old, tall, built like I still lift because I do. I kept my beard lined, kept my fade sharp. I liked simple things, dark t-shirt, clean jeans, fresh white sneakers. I moved quiet, but I moved with purpose. Rose was 40, curvy, beautiful in a way that made people stare too long in grocery lines. She had that confident walk, like she knew everybody wanted to be invited into her world. She'd come through the hallway with them long curls bouncing, smelling like cocoa butter and perfume, and I'd think, yeah, that's my wife. And Kiara, that was my baby too, even if my blood didn't make her. I'd been there since she was little. I taught her how to ride a bike in a church parking lot. I showed up to school meetings. I clapped loud at dance recitals even when the other dads looked half asleep. We had routines. Friday nights, we'd grab something quick, then come home and argue over what to watch. Sundays, Rose liked to look perfect for church, even if we showed up a few minutes late. And every now and then we'd hit a family cookout, smiling for aunties who asked too many questions and uncles who teased too hard. That cruise was supposed to be our reset, just us, ocean air, no jobs, no stress. But lately, the house felt different. Not messy, not loud. Just quiet in the wrong places. And I couldn't shake the feeling that something was being planned without me. Right when I thought I was tripping, Rose's phone lit up on the counter, and she snatched it like it burned her. It started small. That's how it always starts. Rose used to leave her phone anywhere. Kitchen counter, bathroom sink, couch cushion, like she had nothing to hide. Then one day she stopped doing that. Now it stayed face down, always face down. If I walked into the room, her thumb would move fast. Screen goes dark. Smile pops up like a mask. "Hey babe," she'd say, too sweet. "You hungry?" I'd look at her and try to read her eyes. Rose had eyes that could look warm and cold at the same time. And lately, the warm part wasn't showing up. A few weeks before the cruise, she started changing things about herself. New hair, new nails, new outfits coming in boxes, not the usual little treat myself stuff. This was full-on glow-up energy. I remember one night, she stood in our bedroom doorway in a fitted dress, turning side to side like she was modeling. "How I look?" she asked. I smiled because that's what a husband does. "You look good, Ro." But inside, something pinched me, because she wasn't dressed like she was going out with me. She was dressed like she wanted somebody else to regret something. Then the late night started. She'd say she was running errands, but it would be 9 p.m. Who runs errands at 9 p.m. on a Tuesday like it's normal? She'd come back with nothing but a drink from a drive-thru and a story that didn't land right. "How HEB out of what I need," she'd say. I'd nod, but my mind would stay stuck on how her voice sounded. Too practiced, like she rehearsed it in the car before she came inside. One night I was on the couch watching the news. I heard her in the kitchen on the phone, voice low, not whispering exactly, more like hiding. I muted the TV. Rose laughed, soft and quick. The kind of laugh she used to save for me when we first got together. My stomach dropped like I missed a step on stairs. I stood up and walked toward the kitchen. My feet felt heavy on the tile. As soon as I rounded the corner, her face changed. "Hold on," she said into the phone. Then she stared at me like I interrupted something sacred. "What you doing up?" "Just getting water," I said, calm. She ended the call too fast, like she slammed a door. I opened the fridge, grabbed a bottle, and took a slow sip while I watched her hands. Rose's fingers were trembling a little. "You good?" I asked. She didn't look at me. "I'm fine, it's just my cousin." "What cousin?" I asked, still calm. She finally met my eyes. "Why you interrogating me?" That word hit me. Interrogating. Like I was the enemy in my own house. I raised my hands a little. "I'm not, I'm just asking." Rose exhaled hard and walked past me, shoulder tight, chin high. Like she was offended, I noticed her acting strange. Later that week, Kiara started acting different too. She'd always been respectful with me. Not perfect, but we had love, we had history. Then suddenly she got short with me. "Where you going?" I asked one evening when she grabbed her little bag. She didn't even stop walking. "Out." "With who?" I asked. She rolled her eyes. "Why you always asking?" I stood there in the hallway, watching my own home turn unfamiliar. That night, I sat on the edge of my bed while Rose was in the shower. I listened to the water hit the tile. I stared at the closet door like it might open and tell me the truth. My mind kept going back to one thing. The cruise. Rose had been pushing it hard, picking excursions, talking about memories and new starts. But when I tried to talk about it with her, she'd get weird. "I already handled it," she said one night while folding clothes. "I just want to know the plan," I said. Rose snapped the towel in the air like she wanted to snap the conversation too. "The plan is we going. Why you making it deep?" "Because it is deep," I thought. "It's our marriage." The next morning, I went out to get gas. When I came back, Rose was in the driveway talking to somebody in a car with tinted windows. She leaned down toward the window, smiling. When she heard my truck, her smile disappeared. She stood up straight, and the car rolled off quick like it wasn't supposed to be there. I got out slow. "Who was that?" I asked. Rose brushed past the question. "Just somebody asking about directions." "In our driveway," I said. She shrugged. "You always doing the most." "Richard." "Doing the most." That's what people say when they want you to stop looking. That night I couldn't sleep. I kept hearing the way the car sped off, the way Rose's voice dropped in the kitchen, the way Kiara's respect suddenly got packed up and moved out. And then I heard it. Rose's phone buzzing on the nightstand. One buzz, two buzzes. She rolled over fast, grabbed it, and walked out the room like the bed was on fire. I sat up in the dark, listening to her footsteps fade down the hallway. And in that silence, I realized somebody was pulling my family away from me, one secret at a time. The day everything broke open started like any other. I woke up early. The sky outside was still gray-blue. Houston quiet for a second before it turns loud. I went downstairs in my socks, started the coffee, and stood there breathing in that first smell. My phone was on the counter, face up. Buzz. A text from Rose. I wiped my hands on my sweats and opened it. "Plans changed. You're not coming on the cruise. My daughter wants her real dad." That was it. No, we need to talk. No, I'm sorry. No, please. Just a decision. Like she was talking to a coworker, like I didn't pay for half her life. I stared at the screen so long my eyes started burning. My chest got tight. My throat felt like it was closing. And I hate that part, the part where your body betrays you before you even get to choose how to act. I read it again, slowly. Real dad. I thought about Kiara at 6 years old, asleep on my shoulder at family reunions. I thought about her first phone, her first heartbreak, the time I sat in the emergency room with her when she had a bad asthma flare, rubbing her back while Rose cried. Real dad. I heard footsteps. Rose came down the stairs in a robe, hair wrapped up, moving like nothing happened, like she didn't just drop a grenade in my morning. She saw my face and paused. What? She asked flat. I held the phone up. My hand was shaking a little, but my voice stayed low. You sent this. Rose stared at it like she was bored. Yeah. I let out a slow breath. So we not talking about it, you just telling me. She walked into the kitchen, opened a cabinet, pulled out a mug. Her hands were calm, too calm. That's what scared me. I'm not about to argue at 6 in the morning, she said. Kiara asked me for one thing. She wants her dad there, her real dad. I took a step closer, and what am I to her? Rose finally looked at me, and in her eyes I saw it. Not love. Not guilt. Just something like convenience. You're my husband, she said, but you not her dad. That line cut clean. I swallowed hard. So who is this man? Rose's mouth tightened. Why you care? My voice stayed steady. Because you telling me I'm not coming on a trip I paid for. Because my family feels like it got traded without my consent. Rose scoffed and sipped water like she was washing the conversation down. You always want control. Control. That word again. Another label to make me feel wrong for wanting truth. Then Kiara came down the stairs, hoodie on, headphones around her neck. She looked at me like I was in the way. Morning, I said soft. She didn't answer. She went straight to the fridge. Kiara, I said. She sighed like my voice annoyed her. What? I felt my heart thump. You told your mom you want your real dad on the cruise. Kiara froze for a second, just a second. Then she said it. Yeah, I did. I nodded slowly. And you okay with me not coming? She shrugged. It's not that deep. Not that deep. I stared at her and saw a kid trying to be tough, but I also saw something else. Somebody put words in her mouth. Somebody coached her into this. I turned to Rose. Where he at? I asked. Rose didn't answer. She looked away. That's when I heard it. A phone ringing upstairs. Rose's phone. And I don't know what told me to move, but my body moved before my pride could stop it. I walked to the stairs and went up. Rose called after me, Richard, don't do that. But I was already in our bedroom. Her phone was on the bed, buzzing. The name on the screen made my stomach drop. Marcus. I picked it up with 2 fingers like it was dirty. It stopped ringing, then a text popped up. You tell him yet, we not letting him mess up our trip. My ears started ringing. The room felt far away, like I was underwater. I scrolled up just enough. Messages about the cruise, about family, about Kiara calling him dad, about Rose saying she should have never married safe. Married safe. That was me. The man who showed up, the man who paid bills on time, the man who didn't embarrass her, the man who took her daughter in like she was his own. I heard Rose behind me, coming into the room fast. Give me my phone, she snapped. I turned slowly. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't throw anything. I just held the phone like a mirror. You've been talking to him, I said. Rose's nostrils flared. It's complicated. It's not, I said. My voice sounded strange in my own ears. Quiet, cold. You planned a whole life without me. Kiara appeared in the doorway, eyes wide now. She looked at Rose. Mom. Rose stepped toward me. Richard, listen. I backed up 1 step. No, I'm listening now. I'm listening to everything you didn't say. My hands were shaking, but my mind was sharpening. Like my heart broke and something else woke up. Rose reached for the phone again. You don't understand. I looked her dead in her face. Oh, I understand. I'm just done begging you to respect me. Rose stood there breathing hard. And in that moment, with the morning light cutting through the blinds, I realized something clear and terrifying. This wasn't a mistake. This was a plan. And that night, I realized everything was about to change. I didn't explode. That surprised Rose. She expected yelling, a slammed door, some big dramatic scene she could retell later to make me the villain. But I'm not built like that. Not at 50. Not after life already taught me what noise costs. I walked past her and went downstairs. I poured my coffee like my hands weren't shaking. I sat at the table like my whole world didn't just crack, and I thought about my daddy. He used to tell me, son, don't let anger drive. Let it ride passenger, you drive. So I drove. First, I asked one question in my head, real simple. What do I control? I controlled the cruise payments, my card, my accounts, the big chunk of the mortgage, the utilities, the insurance, the little subscriptions Rose loved to forget existed. In the house was in my name, not because I wanted power, because I bought it before we got married, and when Rose moved in, we never changed the paperwork. We talked about it, sure, but we kept putting it off. Next year, she'd say. Next year never came. Now it was here, sitting in my lap like a shield. I didn't threaten her. I didn't warn her. I just moved. I got up from that table and went to my home office. The room smelled like printer paper and old cologne. I closed the door and sat down. My laptop booted up with that software. I called the cruise line first. The lady on the phone sounded cheerful. How can I help you today? I stared at the wall while my heart beat slow. I need to cancel a reservation, effective immediately. She asked for the info. I gave it. She said there may be a fee. I understand, I said. Cancel it. Click-clack on her keyboard. Okay, sir, it's canceled. One sentence, and a whole fantasy died. Next, I logged into my accounts, not to be petty, to protect myself. I opened a new account in my name only. I moved my direct deposit. I changed passwords. I froze joint credit where I could. I printed statements, screenshots, dates, times. Not because I wanted to hurt her. Because I could already see where she was headed. People like Rose don't just betray you. They rewrite the story so you look like the monster. I called my cousin Leon. He's older than me by a few years. Real quiet type. Been through divorce. Been through betrayal. The kind of man who listens first. He answered on the second ring. What's up, big cousin? I stared at my computer screen. I need a place to lay low for a bit. Leon went quiet. You okay? I swallowed. No, but I will be. All right, he said. Say less, you come through. Then I called a lawyer, not the flashy billboard kind, a real one. A black woman named Ms. Jefferson that Leon recommended, voice like calm thunder. She listened to my situation without interrupting. When I finished, she said, Richard, I'm sorry you going through this. Now let's get you protected. Those words felt like a hand on my shoulder. She walked me through steps, legal steps, clean steps, nothing shady, nothing violent, just smart. By late morning, I called a realtor. I remember standing in my kitchen again, looking at the same counters Rose used to wipe down while humming. I watched sunlight hit the floor. I heard a neighbor's car door slam outside. And I made a decision that felt like ripping my own skin off. We need to list the house, I told the realtor, fast. She paused. Is this sudden? It is, I said, but I'm sure. After that, I did something that hurt more than money. I started packing. Not the whole house, just my life. My clothes, my work stuff, my father's watch, photos I brought into this marriage. I left most of the family pictures. Not because I didn't love those memories, because I couldn't look at them without feeling played. Rose stayed quiet for a while, like she was testing me. Then she switched up and tried sweet. She came into the office doorway, arms folded. "You really about to act like this?" she asked. I didn't look up. "Act like what?" "Like I'm your enemy," she said. I finally met her eyes. "You made yourself that." Rose shook her head, soft little laugh like I was being dramatic. "You gone throw away a whole marriage over a trip." I leaned back in my chair. "No, I'm ending a marriage because you threw me away over a man." Her jaw tightened. She walked away, heels clicking down the hallway like a countdown. At one point, I heard her laughing on the phone in the living room. Laughing. That's when I knew she thought I wouldn't do it. She thought I'd cool off, forgive, pay for the next family moment. And I won't lie. My heart fought my pride. I'd stand in the kitchen and look at the spot where Kiara used to sit doing homework while I cooked. I remembered her calling me when she got her first job. "Richard, I got it," she screamed, so happy. I loved that girl. But love can't survive where respect gets murdered. Around noon, I loaded my truck. The air outside was hot, thick, sticking to my skin. My shirt clung to my back. My hands gripped the steering wheel so tight my knuckles looked gray. Rose watched from the doorway. She didn't cry. She just stared like she was waiting for me to blink first. I looked back at the house one last time, the porch, the windows, the little welcome mat Rose picked out. Then I got in my truck and drove. Not fast, not reckless. Just gone. And as Houston disappeared behind me in the mirrors, I made myself a promise. The day I chose to confront her, I was no longer the same man. I did confront Rose right away. I know people think revenge is instant, like you snap, you yell, you destroy. But the cleanest revenge is paperwork, patience, and timing. 3 days later, Rose called like nothing happened. I let it ring twice before I answered. "Hello," I said. Her voice came in sharp. "So you really just left?" "I did," I said. "Where are you?" she asked. "Safe," I said. Rose did that little fake calm laugh. "Richard, you being extra. Kiara just wanted time with her father." I stared out Leon's window at a quiet street, birds hopping on a wire, regular life happening while mine fell apart. "Her father," I repeated. "You mean Marcus?" Rose's silence told on her. Then she got mad. "Don't say his name like that." "Like what?" I asked. "Like he's some problem," she snapped. I let that sit for a second. "He is the problem, and you are too." Rose sighed hard like I was the one exhausting her. "Okay, so what you want? You want an apology." I lowered my voice. "I want the truth." Rose's tone softened a little. "The truth is, I was young when I had Kiara. Marcus wasn't ready. Then you came and you were good to us, but that don't erase who her father is." "That's not the truth," I said. Rose snapped back. "Yes, it is." "The truth," I said slow, "is you used my goodness like it was unlimited." She got quiet again. I could hear TV noise in the background, like she was sitting comfortable while trying to negotiate my dignity. I told her, "Meet me at the house tonight, 7. Rose laughed. "Oh, now you want to talk." "I want to finish this right," I said. She paused. "Fine." That evening, I pulled into the driveway like a stranger returning to his own life. The house looked the same, but I felt different walking up the steps. Inside, Rose was in the living room, arms crossed. Kiara sat on the couch, face tight, like she already picked a side. Rose lifted her chin. "So, say what you gotta say." I didn't sit down. I set a folder on the coffee table, thick, neat, organized. Rose's eyes flicked to it. "What is that?" I opened it and slid papers across. Cruise cancellation confirmation, account changes, a copy of the house listing agreement, notice of separation, A letter from my lawyer about next steps. Rose's face drained. Her confident posture broke first. Shoulders dropped. Her mouth opened but no sound came out. Kiara leaned forward. What is this? Rose snatched one paper, hands shaking. Richard, you can't do this. I stayed calm. I can and I did. Rose stood up fast. You trying to embarrass me? I nodded once. No, you did that yourself. You just thought you'd do it quietly. Kiara looked at me, eyes wide. You selling the house? I looked at her and felt that old pain rise again. I'm selling my house, I said gently. The one I brought you into. Kiara's voice cracked, but she tried to hide it with anger. You being petty. I walked closer, slow. Petty is texting a man who raised you like he's disposable. Rose stepped between us like a wall. Don't you talk to her like that. I tilted my head. Now you want to protect her feelings. Rose's eyes flashed. You always throw what you did in our faces. I shook my head. No, I only bring it up when you act like I did nothing. Rose stared at the papers again, then her body started trembling. Not dramatic trembling, real. You gonna leave us with nothing, she whispered. That question hit my chest because part of me still cared. But then I remembered her text. Plans changed. You're not coming. Like I was nothing. I kept my voice steady. You have options. You can stay with family. You can go with Mucka's since he's so important. You can figure it out like grown people do. Rose's eyes filled. Richard, please. I watched her, and I saw the woman I loved buried under selfish choices. I said, you didn't say please when you cut me out. Kiara stood up packing. Mom, what are we gonna do? Rose turned to her, panic rising. I don't know. And that's when Rose looked back at me like she finally understood. This wasn't a fight she could flirt her way out of. This wasn't a moment she could twist into me being controlling. This was consequences. I picked up the folder and closed it. My lawyer will handle the rest, I said. Rose's voice dropped into a desperate whisper. You really gonna do me like this? I looked her in the eyes one last time. No, I'm gonna do me like this, for once. Rose sank back onto the couch, hands covering her mouth, shoulders shaking. And in that quiet living room, with the air heavy and the lights too bright, she knew she had already lost. The next few weeks moved like a slow storm. The house sold faster than Rose thought it would. Houston stays moving. Somebody always looking for a clean place in a good area. Rose tried to stop it. She called, she texted, she tried sweet, then she tried angry. One voicemail she left still sits in my mind. You can't just erase us, Richard. You can't just walk away like we don't matter. But that was the part that hurt. She didn't mind erasing me first. The legal side went the way Ms. Jefferson said it would. No drama in court. No yelling. Just signatures and timelines. The kind of quiet that still breaks your heart. Rose had to move. She ended up staying with her sister for a while. Word traveled fast like it always does in our community. Not because people are evil. Because black families talk. Aunties notice everything. Church mothers feel shifts in the air before you even confess them. I heard little things through Lon and a couple mutual friends. How Rose showed up to a cookout and folks got quiet. How somebody's uncle said, that man raised your baby and you played him. How Kiara stopped posting like she used to, like she didn't want the internet asking questions she couldn't answer. And Mucka's didn't swoop in and save the day like some movie hero. Because men who pop in for a cruise rarely pop in for rent, school stress, and real life. Rose learned that the hard way. One night, Kiara called me from a blocked number. I answered because my spirit told me to. Her voice sounded small. Richard. I closed my eyes. Yeah, I said. She sniffed. I didn't think you pick up. I leaned against my kitchen counter in Lun's house, staring at the floor. "Why you calling?" Silence. Then she said, "I'm sorry." That word hit me harder than any insult. I didn't rush to comfort her. I didn't punish her either. I just breathed. "I needed you," she whispered, and I didn't say it. My throat tightened. "I needed you too," I said. "I needed respect." She cried a little. I could hear her trying not to. "I don't know what I'm supposed to do now," she said. I spoke slow. "You learn from it. You grow up. You don't let nobody turn love into something disposable." She whispered, "I miss you." I swallowed the pain. I miss who we used to be. We got off the phone after that. No big reunion, no instant healing, just truth sitting where lies used to live. As for me, I found a new place. Smaller, cleaner, quiet in a peaceful way, not a suspicious way. The first night I moved in, I sat on the floor with my back against the wall, eating takeout with no TV on. Just the sound of my own breathing. Outside, the city lights glowed through the blinds. And I felt something I hadn't felt in months. Peace. Not happy, not yet. But free. I learned something in that season that changed me. Betrayal don't always come with screaming and slammed doors. Sometimes it comes as a calm text in the morning, like your heart is just an item on a checklist. If you listening to this, and you going through it right now, hear me clear. Don't beg for a seat at a table you helped build. Don't keep paying for love that keeps charging you interest. And don't let anybody make you feel controlling, because you asked for truth. Move smart, move legal, move calm. Let your pain sharpen your vision, not ruin your spirit. I loved my family, for real, but I learned the hard way that love without respect is just slow heartbreak. And the day I drove out of Houston, I didn't just leave a house. I left a version of me that thought loyalty was supposed to hurt.